Okay, good morning everybody and Hazak Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful, sunny, hot, cold, freezing February with 60 degrees coming up today. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Welcome to Wednesday, everyone. And here we go. Today's class is sponsored anonymously for the Refuah Shlema of all of Am Yisrael. My friends, we are studying together Parashat Mishpatim. Of course, Parashat Mishpatim deals with many of the civil laws, tort laws, between men and men, ben adam lachavero. Today I would like to share with you an idea from Rabbeinu Bachye on the parasha. The pasuk says, Ki yiten, let's read the pasukim first. Chapter 22, pasuk 6. Ki yiten ish el re'ehu kesef o kelim. If a person gives another person kesef, money, vessels, lishmor, to watch. Ever happened to you? Your friend asked you, could you please watch my car? I'm going away for a week, watch my car. So, gives you the car, and what happens? Something happens to the car. Car gets stolen. Who's responsible for that? The pasuk says, "Vegunav mebet ha'ish," it gets stolen. Im yimatzeh haganav yeshalem shnayim. If the thief is caught, the thief has to pay double. Okay. And who does he pay the double to? Who does he pay the double to? The watcher or the owner? He gives it to the owner, the original owner. Okay? The watcher is off the hook and the owner gets his money from the thief. But if we don't find the thief, who stole it? We don't know. Well, pasuk says, "V'nikrav ba'al habayit el ha'elohim." The ba'al habayit, the owner of the house, shall come to the judges, im lo shelach yado, and claim, he has to promise, I didn't steal my friend's car. The watcher has to promise. Okay. And then it continues. Al kol devar pesha, al shol, al hamor, al se, al salma, al kol aveda, asher yomar ki hu zeh, ad Elohim yavod davar shenim asher yomar Elohim shalem shnayim lerehu. Okay. On everything, on all types of charges, whether it's an ox, a donkey, a sheep, a garment, any loss, he has to, this is the case, that he has to come and promise and swear that he didn't steal it, that he wasn't negligent. Okay. Again, there's a lot of deeper ideas in each pasuk, but just to read it quickly, simply. Ki yiten ish el re'ehu hamor o shor oseh v'chol behema l'shmor. Then we have a new paragraph. If you give your friend to watch, again, a donkey or a ox or a sheep or any animal, umet, and it was found dead, o nishbar, or a broke, o nishba, and then, right, it was carried off, taken away. No one saw what happened. Again, Shavuat Hashem tiyeh ben shnehem, an oath. Im lo shalach yado b'mechet re'ehu. Ve'im ganov yiganev, but if it was stolen, yeshalem leba'alav. He has to pay. So what in the world's going on over here? You just told me a few psukim ago that if a guy is watching his friend's item and it gets stolen, he's off the hook. Now you're telling me, just a few psukim later, that again, similar case, you give your friend to watch an item and it gets stolen, he has to pay all of a sudden. What's going on? And then another case, and then a guy who borrows, and then happens that the animal died. So, shalem yishalem, you're responsible to pay. And if the owner was with you, then you don't have to pay, etc., etc. So, a lot going on over here. Let's see what Rabbeinu Bachye wants to say. Okay, Rabbeinu Bachye over here, he walks us through all of this, and he says something very beautiful, explaining really what the Gemara says. Okay, so he's really quoting over here a Gemara, but he puts it concise and nice. Look what he says. Darshu Razal, our rabbis explain. Arba'a shomrim hem. Again, we're learning today a practical halachic idea. Okay, this is we're gonna go soon into the maybe a nicer musar, but right now just to see the actual law. If a person is asked to watch, etc. So he says, Arba'a shomrim hem. There are 4 types of watchers. Shomer hinam, watching for free. Shomer sachar, getting paid to watch. Shoel, borrowing. Vesocher, renting. Vedinehem meshunim, and each one has different laws. And actually, the psukim that we just read walked us through each and every possible case. And that's why some cases was this verdict, some cases was that verdict, and he explains. The first part that we started off with today's class is talking about a watcher for free. You say, listen, I'm going away. I have jewelry. I'm worried. People are robbing houses these days. Could you watch my jewelry? Put it in your safe? No problem. You give your friend to watch for free. Are you paying your friend? You're not paying your friend. Is she gaining anything? She's not gaining anything. She's doing you a favor by watching your jewelry. All of a sudden, it gets lost. So what's the halakha? So he says, by the way, that's why the first pasuk was talking about, what were the things that you were watching? It was talking about watching silver, money, a vessel, a vase. Why are those the examples given? Because usually a person has no problem watching that for free. It takes no efforts from you to watch. You could take it in your house and just put it and leave it. You could set it and forget it. Remember those infomercials? Set it and forget it. Just put it and leave it. You don't have to worry about it. And you're happy to watch something like that for free. There's no real maintenance required. So that's the first paragraph. The first pasuk. That if a person is watching money or vessels, then he's off the hook because you're not getting paid. Fine. But then we got into the next topic. When you're watching, we said a hamor, a donkey, or an ox, or a sheep. So that's talking about what kind of watcher? That's talking about someone watching for money. That's called a shomer sachar. She'en derech lishmor behemot shel acherim ki im b'schar. Because no one watches an animal for free. An animal requires time, energy, money, maintenance. No one's watching an animal for free. Today they have animal babysitters. You're going away, you give your dog to an organization or to whatever it is, to a service. They watch it for you, but they charge. No one really will watch an animal for free. It takes a lot of time and energy. So it's talking about shomer sachar. You're getting paid to watch. Fine. V'chi yish'al. Then the next paragraph is talking about a borrower. That's very obvious because it says if you're borrowing. So you're taking it, you're asking him for it, not the opposite. The first two cases, the owner asked you to watch it. Here you're asking him, hey, could I borrow your axe or whatever it is? It says very clearly in the pasuk. V'chi yish'al. There's no denying that. And finally, im sachirhu ba bischaro. That's the final idea over here. Okay, im sachirhu ba bischaro. The pasuk ends off pasuk 14, and if it was rented, he has to pay whatever is due. So there are arba'a shomrim. This is the famous Gemara. There are 4 types of watchers. Veda, and let's now go into the law of each one. Ki kalal arba'a shomrim alalu shomer hinam. The rule of each one is as follows. Shomer hinam, a guy who's watching something for free. Maybe someone listening to this class right now is in the middle of a case that this happened to. Patur ala kol. If you watch something for someone, something happens to it, it's not your fault. You're exempt from paying. Migneva, whether it's stolen. Aveda, whether you lost it. Or it got lost somehow. I don't know where it went. I just misplaced it. Ve'en sarich lomar, and obviously be'onsin. Obviously, if something happened that was past your control, like a hurricane, something like that, for sure it's not your fault. But even if it got lost without the hurricane, you don't know where it went. You're off the hook. You're doing the guy a favor. You're watching it for free. Therefore, since you got nothing, you got no money, you're not getting paid to watch it, and you're not using it, etc., so you're completely off the hook. Now, again, negligent. If you're negligent, it's something else. Fine. Shoel hayav alakol. If someone borrowed, he's chayav on everything. Bigneva, aveda, afilu be'ontin. Even accidents, you're obligated to pay. If you borrow you borrow your friend's car, and something happened under your nose, you were using it, and something happened. Flat tire. It's an accident. What did I do? I didn't know there was a nail. I wasn't negligent even. I was responsible. I was driving 20 miles per hour, slower than the speed limit. Okay, doesn't matter. You borrowed it, your responsibility to pay. Okay, because you're notel hesed bala mamon. You're getting a favor from the guy who owns it. Okay. Therefore, when it comes to someone watching for free, all the damages are the problem, the headache of the owner, not the watcher. But if you're borrowing, opposite. Kol haniskim, all of the problems, all of the headaches are now on the borrower. L'shoel velo al bal hamamon, not the owner. Next, shomer sachar vesocher. What about the other two categories? Right? So we spoke about the extremes. You borrowed and you got free watching. Guy watching for free, he's exempt almost from everything. A guy who's borrowing is obligated in almost everything. What about the middle two? A guy who's getting paid to watch. So he's not using it, but he's getting paid. Or what about a renter? He's using it, but he's paying to use it. So over here, it's the middle. You understand? They're in between the two extremes that we spoke about. They both have benefits. זה מזכיר בהמתו כליו לחברו ונוטל שכירותו, וזה משתמש בהם, וכיוון שהתועלת ביניהם ראוי שיתחלקו הנזכיר ביניהם. He says what happens in these two middle cases is that actually both parties are gaining. The borrower and the owner are gaining. In the first case, the guy who's watching for free, only the owner is gaining. The watcher he gains nothing, he's not getting paid. So that's why the owner should assume full responsibility. In the second case where the guy's borrowing, the borrower is getting full enjoyment, pleasure, benefit. So therefore, since he's enjoying everything and the owner is not even getting paid, so therefore all of the responsibility falls on the borrower. But in the middle two cases, both guys are enjoying. They're both benefiting. The owner is getting paid and the other guy is renting. Or the guy who owns it is having his item watched, but the other guy is also getting paid to watch it. So they're both benefiting, and therefore, and since they're both benefiting, it's appropriate that in these middle two cases, they should both split the cost, the damage. And therefore, what does that look like? The one who gets stolen or lost, that is the responsibility of the shomer sachar v'lasocher v'lo leba'al hamamon, right? ונזקי האונסין כגון מת או נשבר או נשבר הרי הם של בעל הממון ולא של שומר שכר וסוחר. Unbelievable, beautiful, very, very clear. They have to split the responsibilities. If it was stolen or lost, so there is a certain negligence on the watcher's part. If you're watching your friend's item and it was stolen, you are a little bit at fault. Again, if the guy came with a gun, he didn't do anything wrong. But what if the guy didn't come with a gun? What if the guy just came into your house in the middle of the night and stole it? Again, nothing that you could do, but maybe you could have had a better lock. You misplaced it. How did that happen? Where did it go? And therefore, in these middle two cases of guy who's watching for money and a guy who's renting, you are somewhat negligent, and therefore the responsibility falls on the borrower / watcher, the renter / watcher. And in the other cases, it will fall on if it dies or it breaks, again, they will fall on the owner. This is the halachic stance on these arba'a shomrim. However, of course, like we saw yesterday, every pasuk could be understood on an even deeper level. We could take something that's very simple like this, very halachic, technical, and we could also somehow see how it applies to our lives. So as an example, let's go to the first pasuk again. Chapter 22, pasuk 6. Ki yiten ish el re'ehu kesef o kelim. If a person is watching money or watching vessels, and we said it's talking about a shomer, a watcher, vegunav mebet ha'ish, and they get stolen. Pasuk says, Im yimatzeh haganav yeshalem shnayim. If you catch the thief, you get paid double. Our Ba'alei Musar, rabbis teach us something very beautiful over here. Every one of us, in a way, is a shomer. Every one of us, my friends, is watching. Right? We're all watching. What are we watching? We're watching our soul. We're watching our body, our neshama, kesef or kelim, money or vessels. God gave us to watch this beautiful neshama that we have. He gave us our children. He gave us a body. He gave us our minds. He gave us our souls. We are all shomrim. We're all responsible to watch over this body, this mind. We're supposed to watch over it. Beautiful. There's one problem. Sometimes there's a thief that comes and tries to steal our soul. There's a thief who comes and tries to steal our body. There's a thief who comes and tries to steal our integrity, and he tries to make us corrupt. And this thief, what we call the Yetzer Hara, sometimes the Yetzer Hara comes, and the Yetzer Hara kidnaps a piece of our soul. He robs a part of us, whether it's drugs or abuse or addiction, control, corruption, honesty. There's many ways that we could get robbed. We know what we say in the vidui. We say every day, Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu. Right? We say, God, we're guilty. God, we betrayed. God, we stole. I remember my rabbi in yeshiva, he used to say, who do we steal from? Did you steal? I didn't steal. I don't remember stealing anything today. Today, I made sure to keep my hands in my own pockets. No one else's. Right? Who did I steal from? I didn't steal. My rabbi used to say, Gazalnu, we steal from ourselves. We all sometimes allow the Yetzer Hara to steal from us. Sometimes we do things that are not so appropriate, that we're not proud of. And we get robbed a little bit of our sincerity, from our innocence. We lose a little bit when we get robbed. And how do we deal with all of these robberies? How do we deal with failure when we get robbed, when the Yetzer Hara takes a piece of our soul, our integrity, our innocence, our mind, our bodies, our relationships? What do we do when the Yetzer Hara steals from us? So there are two approaches, my friends. Some people, they say, you know what? The truth is, my Yetzer Hara is so strong that the whole thing's a game, the whole thing's a joke. It was predetermined, predestined, how my life's going to look, how I'm going to wind up. There's no way I could fight him. There's no way I could actually control my temptation. You kidding me? He's too strong. He's made of fire. I'm straw. I'm going to fight him. I'm going to overcome him. No way. This is how some people say. And what happens is they live a life of just hefker, of ownerless. They give up. My whole life is predetermined anyways. What does it matter? That's one approach. It's wrong, of course. Because what ends up happening is you just do nothing and you allow yourself to just fall into your temptations and into your addictions. There is another approach. Some people say, you know what, actually, it is my fault. It's not predetermined, and it's so my fault that I could become depressed. I could just wallow in guilt. Give up. What kind of person am I? Shame on me. How could I? And we don't move forward. We just get sunk into the abbeys. This is also a problem. Both of these approaches, my friends, are not good approaches. In life, we can never shift responsibility, but we also cannot let ourselves become depressed. You know what the Torah says you should do? You know what the Torah says? What should one do if they get robbed? If you have the Yetzer Hara taking day after day, he's just robbing you, you know what you should do? I have good advice. The Torah says, look for the thief. Go out, find. Ask yourself why. Why am I doing these things? What's the root of the problem? We're in a relationship that's not going well. What's the problem? Easy to blame your wife. She needs help. She's not the same. She needs therapy. It's easy to blame your husband. He's stressed. He doesn't understand me. It's his fault. Right? It's always easy. If I asked you what needs to be done in your marriage for it to improve, you would think of 7 things that your spouse should do. My spouse should do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and my marriage will be improved. But the truth is, sometimes we have to look for the thief within. Maybe there's a part of me that I'm not even noticing. I'm not paying enough attention to. Maybe I don't see that I'm getting robbed. I don't realize that when I come into the house, I'm only criticizing. I don't realize that the way I talk is very rude. I don't realize that when I say something, it's only about myself all the time. I don't see it. We're getting robbed without even noticing. It's right under our nose. So the Torah says, go out and find the problem. And if you could do that, if you could dig deep and find the root of the problem, you know what will happen? Something amazing. Yeshalem shnayim. What does that mean? You'll pay. Yeshalem, you'll pay. Shnayim, double. And Torah is over here giving us, my friends, an amazing, amazing lesson. That sometimes in life, when we go through something difficult, when we go through failures, actually, we can use that failure to become double, to become greater than who we were supposed to be before. A lot of times, when we we get into a fight with someone, with a spouse or a friend or a partner, and then we say, "Oh, I got into such an ugly fight." We never yelled like that. We always had quarrels, but a fight like this was a big fight. A fight. We got robbed from our marriage a little bit. We got robbed from having a nice vacation. It was supposed to be a good vacation, and then we lost it. But you know what? God says, go out, find the problem, dig deep, introspect a little bit. You and her, both of us, will introspect. And you know what we could do? We could retie that knot, that bond, that rope that was severed, that was cut. You know what? You know what happens? You tie it, and actually that knot, that tie, could be stronger than it was before. Many times, when we fail, we could use that failure as a spring to climb and to do even better. A lot of times we mess up, but because of the mess up, because of the hurt, because of the pain, we're driven and we realize Yeshalem Shnayim. We actually look back at that pain. We look back at that fight. Look back at that mistake. That was a very ugly mistake. I don't know how I did that. It's not usually me. But because of that mistake, we actually started to double down. We started to Yeshalem Shnayim. We were able to take that mistake and use it as an engine to achieve much greater. A person could be going 10 miles per hour in life. You stay 10 miles per hour your whole life. But then sometimes a person could fall. A person can mess up. And they go from 10 to 5, 10 to 0, or negative. And they're so upset. But you know what? You open up your engine, you give it to a mechanic. He fixes it. Now your car goes not 10. Now your car goes 20. But it only happened because it broke. Sometimes the breakings that we go through in our lives, the mess ups that we go through, if we're able to find the thief, you could actually use it and go faster. We could do it to go better. Our rabbis say, in a way where Ba'alei Teshuvah stand, where someone who is doing repentance, where someone who's doing Teshuvah, where he stands, where she stands, is a higher level than a person who is a goody two-shoes, who is a tzaddik amur. Because the person, like the example that we gave, could go 20 miles per hour now. Because they grow, they're using. Many people that I know, they didn't go to yeshiva. They went to public school. And because of the public school experience that they went to, because they never went to yeshiva, they actually now, as adults, they're learning every day. And they feel like they have to make up on lost time. And they're praying better. They're stronger. In a way, they're more connected. And if that person would have gone to yeshiva, I don't know that they would have been so on fire, so excited, so eager, so thirsty. I don't think so. Maybe not. A lot of times we look at our failures and we get regret, we get depressed, we fall down. Torah is teaching you, don't fall down, don't get depressed. Depressed? What are you talking about? Quite the contrary. You could use this as a springboard. You could use this to jump even higher than before. Again, in life we don't look to fail. We don't like to mess up. We don't look for it. I'm not saying that you should mess up and then jump. No, I'm not saying that. But if it happens, sometimes we get robbed. If we're negligent, all of that I'm applying doesn't apply. But sometimes we get robbed. There's a geneva. I didn't on purpose. But I'm human and I make a mistake. And I do teshuvah. Our rabbis say that teshuvah turns the sin into a mitzvah. Because that failure generates a passion and an appreciation that you didn't have before. And we go faster, we go stronger, we go further. Right? Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. Sometimes it's, again, the mistakes. If I'm going through life and everything's okay, so I stay average. Sometimes it's only because we get smacked in the face. It's only because we really messed up. It's only because we hit rock bottom that now we have to start digging. That now we have to start looking. Now we find a problem. And then we're able to fix the problem. And we're able to fix our engine. We're able to climb even higher, even faster than we could have before. I think this is really a very powerful lesson, my friends, that we're learning from the laws of Geneva, of Shomer Chinam. Again, we started off the class with Rabbeinu Bahye, who's teaching us over here laws of watching, borrowing, renting. But there's, I think, something deeper that every one of us, every single day of our lives, when we go through something difficult, when we go through a failure, through a mess up, we have to be able to look at that and say, it's bad. I'm not shifting responsibility. I'm taking full responsibility. But I'm going to actually look for the problem. And I'm going to realize that I shouldn't get depressed from my problem. I should be able to use this as a way of becoming greater and stronger than ever before. Okay, everybody, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God willing, we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.